Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Queen of Isthmus Secondary School here in Ihitogoda LG of over not LGA in Imo State. Okay, continuing and moving on with the topic that we were discussing before that break. Now, there is a quote from Socrates which says that education is the kindling of a flame and not the filling of a vessel. Have you seen it? Now, the regurgitation connotes that one reproduces what one has digested, has kept inside of him or her. All right? But if you look at it from the standpoint of Socrates, he says that it is the kindling of a fire. That means turning a flame and keeping it and sustaining it to be ablaze perpetually. Have you seen it? So that is in contradistinction from what we have been talking about. So that clearly shows that regurgitation is not the best approach to learning. Yeah, and in fact, as the topic says, suggests, cognition is a process that every young person undergoes, whether you are in school or out of school. So now let's look at it from the standpoint of being an innate endowment. Have you seen it? Now, for every child that is born, he or she goes through that involuntary process of acquiring some kind of knowledge, be it informal or formal. Now, we are bringing in regurgitation because we are looking at a school scenario. We're painting a school scenario, painting student pupils scenario. Have you seen it? Now, it is an innate endowment because it is a cerebral function, something that has to do with the brain and the mind. So have you seen it? So that means cognition, is that process whereby individuals, whether they are in school or out of school, absorb something in their mind, all right? Something that they didn't previously know. So that means that every individual has the capacity to learn something new. No wonder someone says that the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. Have you seen it? Oh my God. This is a very interesting topic that we're treating today. So now, the argument has been that regurgitation, helps students to, remember and retain what they have been taught. But if we're looking at the from the view of a holistic assimilation and apprehension of what has been taught, you will find out it goes against the four methods of learning. There's some people that learn through auditory, some through kinesthetics or olfactory. Those four cardinal ways of learning. Regurgitation is antithetical to them. So have you seen it? So that's why we are de-emphasizing it this morning. Okay, it's not about reproducing, but understanding and being able to implement, whatever you have learned in school when the need arises. Okay, so if there is any benefit at all to be attributed to this phenomenon, all right, the only benefit that we have gathered from the research that we have made is that regurgitation only is useful to students who study in a noisy environment. Yes, some of them who live in hostels, some of them who live in a place where there is a large number of people, all right? So you find out that there will be noise, there will be a din of noise, always at the background. So they need to be reading aloud and be talking to themselves aloud so that they will be hearing themselves and be drowning the noise that is within or around the environment where they are. Have you seen it? So in so doing, it helps to foster concentration. They'll be able to, to concentrate on what is at hand. Have you seen that? That's the only benefit that research, has, afforded or has availed us as long as far as this topic is concerned. So, why must students desist from regurgitation method of learning? The first is it does not equip students to solve real-time problem. When they graduate from school, it makes them to be not to be adequately prepared for the workplace, which has to do with creation and addition of values. If there is nothing that you have, you can adapt. The workplace has to do with adapting to problem situations and taking care of them. If you cannot quickly adapt to problem situations in the workplace, that means you are not fit to work in any industry at all. It has to do with innovation. All right. It also has to be because it's a very dynamic area. It's not a static environment, which the workplace is. Now the second thing is that if one must create a unique product or service, a unique value, then you find out that regurgitation, which is hypothetical or theory-based, is of no benefit to the student. So that means that our method of teaching in schools today must change from theory-based to practical-based. All right, practical solutions. Rendering practical solutions to problems that arise in our society. Okay, and then finally, most people want to have a quick fix solution to problems, and which does not last. Anything that has to do with hankering at the leaves, instead of digging deep to the root of the tree, creates more problem in the long run. Have you seen it? So that's why it is not beneficial. And then if you look at it from the standpoint of being creative, solving problems with your creative ability, we find out that it puts out the embers of creativity. All right, this is where we're going to be stopping today. I am still your friend and your brother, MC Liki, and this is Isthmus TV. I'll see you again this time next week. Bye for now.